Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, ma.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. All right, so I think we can just start right now. Somebody is saying we can't hear you. Please, let me just drop in a message that, can you all hear me though? Please confirm that you can hear me if you can.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. We can hear you, ma.
So please let me tell Lolade Okore that you are hearing. So she should check her own.
I can hear too. I had gone out and come back in, so it's okay now.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's start off. Without too much ado, there should be some other people here, but they are not here. We are not going to be held responsible for that because this is 14 minutes after 5, well over the time we planned. We planned 5 p.m. So good evening, everyone, and you are welcome to the meeting. You all know me, so I don't have to introduce myself. But maybe for the sake of those who will see this video later and who do not know who I am, my name is Olaoshibikon OK. It's okay to just call me OK, like I've always told you, especially for those who will not be able to pronounce Olaoshibikon pretty well. We just thought we should get together this evening and do reminders on our trading, because this happens to be one of the sore parts of our business in RoyalQ. Nobody knows it all, and I don't claim to know anything actually. So that's why I said we are coming together so that we can discuss our business in RoyalQ and how we can take it a notch higher than what we're doing here. I also noticed that a lot of people are not trading. Some people come to me in the DM and they think that, excuse me, the whole thing is just too much. But by the time we go through this training, or is it meeting, or is it mentorship this evening, you realize that it's very simple. Trying to wash you so that you can believe, and then you can go ahead thinking that you will have to do little things. And that's where we're going to start today, because there are so many ways to trade in RoyalQ. RoyalQ is such an amazing bot that when you have it, it's just as simple as ABC. And I'm telling you the truth. You see, that was why we had that talk show we had the other time, so that we can simplify things. But I realized that not all of us were in RoyalQ at that time, and a lot of people will still come. So we are recording this so that other people can see it later. And even when you now bring people in, you can still refer them to this. You yourselves, you can go back to this over and over and over again. In fact, it doesn't have to be over and over and over again. By the time you go through this like once or twice, you'll be good to go. I'm telling you the truth. All those things we see as lines and we see as graphs, and a friend of mine said, when I said RoyalQ, she said, oh, she would join. She should join in 2021. And she thought that, oh, no, this money, you know, when the bearish market came, she was discouraged and she left. So I said, okay, come back now. We have a lot of beautiful strategies there. Say, okay, come. I have done my SWOTs. I've done my SWOT analysis. And I know that all those your graphs, all those things, they are not for me. But you see, it's actually in the graphs. What she's calling graphs, those are candles. Those are the price actions. That's where the money is. And we're going to break this down. Per adventure, you are like my friend and you are on this call. Just throw that mindset out. If you want to go out to the waiting room and come back in, is allowed. Just go out there, drop that mindset that is difficult, because it is not. But because she has believed that it is difficult, she said she has done her SWOT analysis, her strength is not there at all, those things are weaknesses, blah, 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 blah. That's not it. It's not true. So if you have that mindset tonight, I'm just saying this, please go back to the waiting room. It's allowed. Drop that mindset there and then come back in and come and listen to us, because it's very simple. We're going to keep it very simple. And this is why we say our topic tonight is the dynamics of trading strategies in RoyalQ and related topics. There are so many. Oh, I'm being warned that my network is unstable. All right, so let me just shut down my video and see if that helps. All right. We say trading is dynamic. Yes, it is. Because there are so many ways we can trade. As starters, we want to look at some very basic ways we can analyze and pick our trades without too much stress. Because that's actually the whole issue. People don't even want to see because they are new things. Some of us are very adventurous. For me, I mean, these are the things that keep me going. I like to see new things. I like to poke my nose into, into new things, learn, and then keep going. And like I always tell people, it's actually the skill that I'm getting in this that makes me really, really glad daily, apart from making money though. It's not as if I'm not, and it's from the skill, you know, if you learn, you know, when we want to tell people, we say, learn, then remove the L and N. That's the truth, really. Because it's in learning, as we are trying to do now, that we can make a lot of money. So we are going to look at it, how we can remove the stress just by having a clear knowledge of our candle patterns. So we are going to look at candle patterns. We're also going to look at some indicators. We'll add indicators to candle patterns. And then subsequently, okay, we may be looking at support and resistance, but I won't go there today because I know that's where many people find it all plugged together, but it's also very simple. As a matter of fact, it's the simplest. All those resistance, all those supports, all those drawing of our trend lines and then picking our profits. But let's start from the beginning, you know? Let's start from appreciating and actually knowing our candles. You see, when we put all these things together, like we are seeing on the screen, these are called candles. And you can see that they look like our normal candles, the one we use to lighten up the environment, because they have that body, they have the body, and then they have the wicks. But the only difference here, although in our normal candles too, if we really want them to have the bottom wick, they can, because it's just a matter of cutting off a bit of the body, and then we can see the wick both up and down. That is exactly what the candles are. We don't want to go into the history of candles, but let's just take it that candles in trading is, well, these are what we use to determine the price actions. So when we want to take the price, we want to determine the price, we want to know, oh, what was the opening price for this coin, or what's the closing coin, we are going to have to look at candles. Okay, so this is why we are starting from candles. Those of us who have already understood what candles are, the patterns of candles and everything, please also listen. Perhaps there are some things that you didn't take into consideration and is now affecting you in picking your trades, because this is just the basic thing. This is where everything starts. And we really need to understand this before we can now put them together. These are simple, single candles. But when we now put them together, then we'll be able to look at support. In fact, we can do support and resistance for single candles as well. But there's no way you want to measure your trade profits and all of that without putting them together as 25 minutes, 15 minutes candles, 1 hour candles, and all of that. But let's just be contented, you know, a slide at a time. Just soak a slide in at a time, especially the new ones. Understand one slide before the other, and then we take it like a step, like we are taking our baby steps, okay? So when you have the most popular colors are what you are seeing in candles. They are the green and the red. If you like, you can get to your own strategy page and change. You can change the colors to anything. Some people like to use the black and white. Some will use different colors. But the most popular, and I think actually the easiest for you to understand what they stand for, is just for you to use the green and the red. You use the green and the red. I think it's better that way, because you know when you are looking at red, normally for me, when I'm looking at red, I'm looking at danger, as in this is danger. But when you are looking at green, oh, it's green on this side. There's a lot of money, oh, peace and all of that. So I prefer to use my green and red. Okay? So when you have candles like this and you're looking at them like this, and the big candle, the green is big. That is, the body is bigger than the wicks. Remember the wicks, when you are looking at your candle, those ones in your kitchen, those candles that you use to lighten up your homes, the wicks are there, tinier than the body. It's the same thing here. So when you have the green and the body is bigger than the wicks, it just shows that the buyers are in control. That is, the big boys, they have the money. Remember what we said about green? It's green on this side. We have a lot of money. We have peace. We have splendor. That is green. Okay? But when the candles are big and they are red, the bodies are big and red in color, and I mean the wick also, just like the other side, then the sellers are in control. The sellers, they are selling off, they are in control. I hope that is understandable, and we are learning. Okay? And we are learning. All right, so we move to the next slide. Don't worry, as we are going, if you have questions, just be putting them down, get your notes. You can use your phone, because I really want us to take it from the basics. We want to look at what we will see, because there's no way you don't see candles when you want to trade. No way that you're not going to see candles. And these are the candles you're going to see. Okay, so when you look at these ones too, they are forming some patterns. We're going to be looking at all these patterns as we go on, and then we will also discuss what they really mean. But let's just look at this. Remember we said when the body is big and the wick is small, then the buyers are in control. So this very first one here, what it means is that the buyers are still in control, but they are losing power. So you can see that the body is giving way. It's pushing up. It's pushing up. They are still in control, but the body is no longer big. That means that when the body is big, you know that there is a lot in there. There's a lot in there. But now the lot is being lost. I'm going to be very, very, you know, just there. And I'm not going to use so many trading terminologies. We're going to be down to earth as we explain, so that we will all understand and we can move together. Okay? So this body, when it's big, I mean, it's a no-brainer that when something is big, there's a lot in there, a full lot. Let's not use any trading terminology now, but now it's getting smaller. It's still green. So this means that, okay, so the buyers are still in control, but they are losing what we call momentum. What we call momentum. They're losing it, but they are still there. They are pushing up. Then when it is like this, the sellers are taking over. They're pushing down, they're pushing down, they're pushing down. Now, when you look at this, the next one, there's a small candle, red. Then the next one to it is big. We are now trying to see when we put these candles side aside. What this means is that if you see a small candle that is red like this, and then you now see green beside it, it shows that the buyers are taking over. You know, they are as much as possible. I don't want to use trading terminologies, but they keep coming back. But what this means, let me just say, the green has ambushed the red. It's taking over. You can see that if you are standing on the other side of this green candle, you are not likely to see the red. That's actually what the trading terminology is all about. The green has consumed this, this red. It has overshadowed it. I'll keep using all these words that we can easily understand. That means that the buyers are taking over. Okay? If it is the other way around, as we can see here, then you can see that it is the red, the sellers, they are already ambushing the buyers. They are taking, they've already submerged them, they've taken over. Okay? So when you see this third one up here, I hope you can see where my cursor is. When you see something is red, then there's this tiny one. The name of this small one is a doji. Okay? We call it a doji. All right? Now, we'll be discussing all of this as we go on, like I said. But let me quickly tell us exactly what a doji candle is. When you are seeing something like this, that is looking like a cross, and the body is kind of small, then it is called a doji. Okay? It will have, most of the time, they will have an upper and lower wick. Yeah, wick. So a doji, if you want to put a definition to it, is just a candle that forms when the opening and the closing prices. I have not told you anything about opening and closing prices. I just want us to understand all these candle patterns first. Then we start looking at what they even signify. We've already said one or two things of what they signify, but remember we said they signify price actions. And if something is signifying price actions, we should also realize that they will tell us what the prices are when we are opening the markets and what the prices are when we are closing the market. But because we've already understood what the big green candle is and what the red big candle is, it is okay for us to now know what these ones that most of the time look like a cross. Sometimes what is crossing is up or sometimes down. Okay, so they are called dojis, and they form when the opening and closing prices of a coin are virtually equal or very close. Sorry, they are still warning me that my network is unstable. So co-host, if the hosting of the business, I want to say hosting of the company, I'm honestly one, I was very tired. I've been having meetings back to back all day, but we'll go on. So if the hosting falls on you, you don't need to do anything. Just hold on. I'll come back in and then we can take over. Okay. I'm trying to use the best of the network in my house, but just that the best is not good enough as it is right now today. I don't know what it is in Lagos, but it has been horrible. All right, so this doji forms. So now let's just look at what we are calling these prices. Let's look at it from this very first slide of candles. Now, when you look at the green candle, remember we said buyers are in control. When we want to buy in RoyalQ, what we need to do is that we buy when it is very low in price. When the price, I mean, is a no-brainer now. When you want to buy something, this is why we argue prices in the markets, you know, and then at the end of the day, especially women, we may price all the things, the same thing from 10 people or 10 persons. Then we try, what we are trying to do when we are pricing in the market is also to look at how to get the cheapest price. So in RoyalQ, what the bot does is to buy when the price is very low, and then it sells off when the price is high. So all the time we are looking for low cost coins to buy, and then we are looking at pushing it up until it's very high and we can take a lot of profits. Okay, but we need to also manage our greed. We'll talk about all of these things later. Opening prices and closing prices. So for buyers, the opening price starts from the bottom. It starts from where my cursor is. So this is the opening price. That's where, you know, this is the lowest part. This is the lowest part. This is actually the weak head is the lowest, the lowest of this candle. But this is where the price opens. And this is where the price closes, the upper part of the body. And this, on top of the wick, is where you have the highest price ever for this trade. Now, the reverse is the case for the red candle. These are sellers. And you see, you cannot be a buyer without being a seller. So we are both in one. That's what it means. Because you are looking at buying here and then closing it off here and selling. So the opening for sellers, that is for red candles, is always here at the top. Is at the top. And then the prices for sellers will close here at the bottom. And this is the highest, the tip of the wick is the lowest price ever. So that means that you sell off here when it's when it's highest, and that is why it is equal to where the sellers come in, and then the price will keep going down. In crypto, whatever goes up must come down. That's where, especially in sports trading, this is why we are never shaken. All we need to do is to buy patience with our RoyalQ bot. Whatever it is that goes up will definitely come down. No price action goes up and stays up. No. If it stays up, it is not crypto. It's not even trading, because this is also what it is in Forex. This is what it is in gold and all of those. You must have the high price. I hope we have understood this. Please, if you have understood what I've been saying so far, put one in the chat box. Put one in the chat box if you have understood what I have been saying so far. Put one in the chat box. If you do not understand, put two in the chat box. I understand, put one. I do not understand, please put two. Okay? All right, so I can see a lot of ones in the chat box. So let's go on. Now, to the slide we left, remember we were trying to describe doji. That was why there was need for us to go back and actually talk about prices. So these doji candles form when the opening, remember we said for green candle, opening is down, closing is up. For red candle, opening is up, closing is down. So it's the same thing with dojis. They still have the opening and closing, you know, but both the closing and opening prices are very close together. That's what you are seeing there. You can see this block is red now. So can somebody tell me where the opening price will come in this doji? Where is it, up or down? Being a red doji, would the opening price be up or down? You can put your answer in the chat room. From what we have talked about red and green candles and where their opening prices are, where will the price of this doji, where will it open from? Is it from up or down? Seeing that this is red, this is a red doji.
From up.
From up. Thank you. From up, because it's a red doji. So you see this place where my cursor is, that's the opening price right now. And the down part, that's the closing. You can see that they are close together. So that's how you identify dojis. Okay? That's how you identify dojis. The opening and the closing prices of the assets. Remember, we are talking about of the coins that we are in. Like if you are on a chart of a coin like this, all these things are what you are likely to be seeing. So this doji candle forms when the opening and closing prices are like almost equal or at least close to each other at a specific period, because we also trade periodically, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We look at candles in 15 minutes, 25 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, 2 hours a day, you know, because what we are trying to do when we are looking at patterns or we are doing our technicals, when we are doing our analysis, is actually to look at what has happened before. We are trying to look at what happened before, and then we can use what has happened to project what is likely, what has happened before and what is happening now, to project what can happen next. So with that, we can now know that, okay, this price was this yesterday. Okay, most likely today, this is what it will be. So that's what we are trying to do when we are doing any analysis at all. So we can see that when you look at this, I don't want you to bother yourself about what they mean just yet. We will get there. But what this doji is telling you is that this red one now, it was bigger, but when it now gets to this size, both the opening and closing prices are coming together. Sorry. They are coming together. And as such, something is likely to happen. Something is likely to happen. Something is likely to happen because they are coming together. Okay? So that's why it is there. It is to show us something. It is to let us know that something may happen. Okay? So we call them most of the time reversal candles. They tell us what is going to happen next if we study them so well. And you can see now that it goes up and then this pattern is telling us something. But don't let us bother ourselves with this just yet. This pattern is the opposite of the one on top of it. You can see that this is green, this is red, and this red has totally consumed this green, you know, next to it. So you won't be able to see this. This one is also the opposite of the one we just saw. When I say we saw it, when we really want to say it in the trading parlance, we say we have analyzed, you know. So don't get thrown out when people are saying we are doing analysis and technical analysis, clinical analysis, analysis. It's just what we are doing now. We are looking at them. We are talking about them. That's analysis. There isn't anything about it. But you see, when you get on Zoom meetings, I know that some people are taken aback once they hear analysis, once they hear technical analysis. Oh, what is this about now? It's nothing. It's just what we are doing right now. What we are doing now is actually what we can also call technical analysis. We are analyzing the candles. We are looking at their formations. We are looking at what can happen if this green is followed by this doji. And then suddenly the red big one comes in. What is it really telling us? Because it's telling us something. But we will get to all of this. I just want you to identify this for now. These are the candles, the dojis that we just saw here. Okay? And you can see that these dojis that we are seeing, apart from the fact that one is red and one is green, they are very identical because their opening and closing prices are very close. That's number one. And then you can see that the wick, the size of the wick on both ends, on both sides, are just equal. We have some that are not like this. They are not equal like this. We'll still meet them during the course of this presentation. Okay? So when you see a doji like this, that's the price and everything, upper and lower shadows, they are just the same. Eh? This means that the market, there is indecision in the market. Neither the buyers or the sellers have an upper hand. This is what it is, equal. Remember we said when the candles are big bodies and they are green, it shows that the buyers have an upper hand. When they are green and the bodies are big, the sellers have an upper hand. But when this now sets, when the candles become this, then it just shows that they are not. Let's keep on going. Now, see, you know, we saw some dojis and they are like equal wick on both sides. But when you see the big candle, the body, and then it turns to this, the body is bigger than the wick, but the wick is big. I mean, it's tall. Then the buyers are in control. When it's like this, the buyers are still in control. And when it's like this, the sellers are still in control. The big red candles, where the body is bigger than the wicks, the sellers are still in control. So it's just like the same thing as what we saw in the very first slide. Okay? Now, when you now look at these two, when you look at this, when you see just as what we saw last, when the wick now is so long and the body is like this, it shows that the difference between buyers and sellers are kind of insignificant because the body is now small, the green body is small. So it shows that it's insignificant and anything can happen depending on the direction that this wick is now going. Okay? Depending on the direction the wick is going to. So this is what we have just analyzed. The green body smaller than the wick. Wick is, I mean, the body is bigger than the wick, but the wick is tall. The wick is long. And the other one too. It just shows that in both cases, the buyers, when it's green, the buyers are still in control, but insignificantly so. The same thing here. The sellers are in control, but insignificantly so. All right. When you have the large wick above the body, or you have the large wick below the body, just be noticing all of these things, because you can also have the large wick and it's green, oh, and it's just coming below the body. They are all very significant and they have their meanings. In this presentation, you will be seeing me repeating some things. It's so that they can sink in. That's how I train, especially when I'm trying to train beginners. You know, when we teach the Montessori's, when we teach the people in the nursery schools, we repeat many times. In fact, when we are teaching children to do something, we must repeat many times. So just take it in each time. They may be the same thing you are seeing. It's just so that we can repeat so many times. So like this one now, we've talked about it before, so don't let us get confused. The big drink, and where the body is bigger than the wicks, buyers are in control. They are still in control. When it is red, sellers are in control. Okay. Now, these are doji patterns. We want to look at these doji patterns. We want to look at them now holistically, because we are going to be meeting them. Remember, I said they are reversal patterns. What does that mean? You know, when something has been going up, like maybe the buyers have been in control and prices are moving up and we are going, and then suddenly you start seeing some things like this. We are going to look at some charts, and by the grace of God, we will look at a bit of analysis today, and then you will realize that they are just easy peasy, very simple. There isn't anything difficult about them at all. Once you understand all these candle patterns individually, then you don't have any problem analyzing when they now come together. Okay? So let's look at this from Investopedia. When you have a candle that is like this, a doji candle that is like this, these tiny bits of the body is the open and close prices. Then the low price is the tip of the wick, and the high price is the tip of the wick up there. When you have it like this, it is called gravestone doji. You see, we don't even need to tell you when we say something is gravestone. Like Mr. Julius will say, Julius Kabanda will say, or is it Kabanda? Somebody normally says Shadat. They call something gravestone. That means that it's going to bury people. It wants to bury prices, gravestone. It shows that it's dangerous. When you see any doji like this, then you know that that reversal is downward trend. Like if you have been going, and then this one suddenly appears, then you have to either hold on to your coin or you do a stop loss. All of this we will look at, but not immediately, because I don't really want to confuse anybody. You can do your stop loss. You can also take your profits, JJ, because some of us, I'm also guilty. I'm very guilty. Most times it pays off, but sometimes it doesn't. But it's okay. You know, you just pick it up. After all, we are in business as well. Sometimes we win, sometimes we win. In inverted comma, open and close. So, but if you are able to identify your candle patterns, like all these reversal patterns, you'll be able to caution yourself when you know, because maybe you've already put your trade take profit at 10%, and then you already have 5%, and suddenly you see this. The wisest thing to do is to just take your profit at 5% and leave markets. Otherwise, you stay there. If this gravestone doji just kicks in, the market will start going down. Remember, we said dojis are reversal patterns. So when they show up, They are telling us something, that something is going to shift very soon. The one we saw earlier on is what we call long-legged doji. So the wick patterns on both sides of the body is like equal. The high price, the low price. So that cross is like a cross, total cross. The open and close of the prices are right in the middle. This one is signifying indecision. And it is also wise for us to look at this and stop a little bit. Then we look at the pattern of the candle that we form after. Because this thing, even though it's indecision, it is also still a reversal pattern. Okay? So what this means is that we don't even know the direction the market will go. This gravestone is total reversal to downward trend. It's going down. This is what this one is saying when you see it anyway. But this one is not saying yes, it's not saying no. So you need to first stay back. If you want to enter the trade, you look at it critically before you dive in. Then this one is dragonfly. This is what we all love to see when we are trading. Okay? You can see dragonfly, it flies. It flies. This is a positive reversal pattern. The lower part is longer than the upper wick. Even though the open and close prices are still very close to each other. This is dragonfly. And it tells us about bullish reversal. Okay? And let me quickly explain what I've just said now. Bullish. Bullish, you know, a bull, the way bulls jump and all of that. That's what it also means. Bull. That's why we keep saying bull run, bull run. Bull run, when bull run comes in, all the prices will go up. So when we are saying something is bullish, it just means that it's good, it's going up. And when we say it's bearish, you know, a bear is very gentle, you know, docile. That means that the market is going down. So gravestone doji signifies a bearish reversal. We all kukuma know what a reversal is, something that is going down. And dragonfly, and you can see that they are actually opposites of each other, even in looks. So the dragonfly is flying. That's a bullish reversal pattern. Bullish reversal doji. Is when they come together that we call them patterns, okay? I hope we are following. If we are learning, please put L in the chat box. If we are learning, put L in the chat box. And if you are not, because it's not compulsory that we finish this slide today, what is compulsory is that we understand what we are here to do, so that it won't be a waste of time, waste of emotion, and all of that. So if you are learning, just put L in the chat box. And if you are not, please put N, and then you tell us where you are not learning. Okay? Everybody must put something in the chat box. It's either you are learning or you are not. I can only see 3. I can only see 3 L's. I hope I'm not mistaken. Oh, 4. Okay, so I can see Ololade, Joko Tidola. I know you will sit down there with your dollar. Then I can see Muti. I can see Lighton. All right, so should we assume that others are not learning? If you are not learning, please feel free also to let us know that you are not. And you let us know what it is that you are not learning. So that, please, can you tell me what it is here that you do not know? Kabir, I cannot see you in the chat box. What is it that you do not know? Ajibola, I did not see you there. Also, either for or against. You need to tell us before we move on, because this cannot be an effort in futility. And if you are not in the chat room, if you are not with us here, it's better for you to just stay out. And okay, Peace said 1. So what were you thinking of before? You said 1 instead of L. I'm looking at L right now. Peace, Kabir, Ajibola, can you let us know? Please unmute yourself and tell us where you are lost. Ajibola, I'm telling you to unmute. I hope it's not that you guys are here in name only, because I don't really like that in my training. It's better for you to be absent than for you to be here and you are not participating. Ajibola.
Wow, good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm getting it right gradually by bit.
What do you mean by bit? So far, do you understand all we have said about these patterns?
Yes, ma.
And so why are you not putting your L in the chat room?
Sorry about that.
I'm sure you were not here.
I'm here, ma.
All right, I believe you. Ajibola, your turn to tell us. Because what we want to get round this evening is you understanding all these patterns so that picking trades by yourself and making money would be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, Ajibola, is it that you do not know how to unmute yourself? I'm asking you to unmute. Okay, Peace. Peace, you've not talked to us. Let me understand you. I'm asking you to unmute, Peace.
I understand, ma. Good evening, ma.
Good evening. You understand. Why are you not putting your L in the chat?
I did, ma.
I saw 1. You put 1.
Okay, that was a small letter. Sorry about that.
Okay. So you understand. That's just what you don't have to be sorry. That's just what I want to understand. That you understand. That's what is my concern. Ajibola, we are still not hearing from you. Nobody should come to my inbox to tell me that, hey, all those things you were even drawing, I don't understand. Because this is where it starts. Maybe Ajibola does not know how to unmute himself. Please talk to us in the chat room. If you are hearing me, Ajibola, let me know exactly what it is. Okay. Who is at work? Ajibola is at work. But if you are here and you are hearing us and you understand so far, please put your L if you do not understand so that we can assign your upline to explain to you later. Just put in the chat box if you understand. I won't say why are you at work and you are in the Zoom, because it shows that you really want to learn. Okay? Now, because I want to move into the next one. The next one now, you can now see, we have now put these candles together. We are trying to put them together. We have tried to put them together. And I hope we are all seeing them. Let me try and expand, contrast, expand. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. So let's look at this green. This green, see how big. What does this signify? When you see a chart like this from what we have learned today, and then you are seeing this green, the green candles, they are just following each other. Don't look at this other side, just look at this side. Please let me know You can unmute yourself and talk if that is what you want to do, or you put it in the chat box. What's happening here? What's happening here? Is the coin going up in price? Should we be happy? Remember, you pick it, you pick you pick the price from where my cursor is, and then it's going up, and then it's jumping up. What does this signify? It has now become a pattern. This is now a pattern. It's not a single candle anymore. It has formed a pattern. What does this signify? Can somebody just make a trial in the chat box? What does that signify? Yes, the buyers are in control. Thank you. Ololade, they are in control. So where are they going? Where is the price going? Remember, candles show us price actions. That is the actions being taken by the coins. So can somebody tell us where these prices are going, where they are moving? The way these candles are forming, the way they are forming, yes, the price is going up. Thank you. It's going up. So this actually will make us very happy when we see things like this. It's jumping. My people will say it's pumping, it's pumping, it's pumping. Everybody is happy. But look at that spoiled joy right there. Can you see the spoiled joy? Can anybody see that doji? That red little thing. Can anybody see it in between? Can we all see? If you can see, let's put yes. If we can see, let's put yes. Yes. That small doji is in between the green and the red. And you can see what happened. The prices had already started going down. See, can you see it? That red one now formed. Very strong. That's you see, the market is a war zone between the buyers and the sellers. So it's whoever wins at the end of the day that has won. So when you look at that, when that forms, then this one, the sellers took over. Then prices went down. And now you can see this other one now, the green one, that green doji started forming, which means that, you remember I explained this in the earlier slides, the buyers are taking over, but they are not, this is not very strong. But you can now see, if you want to enter this trade, you wait for the next candle. What would happen? As a matter of fact, you should wait for 2 more candles after this to see what exactly would happen. Then the buyers came in again and they were taking over. The big body is what shows us whether they are taking over or not. They're taking over, but their strength was not enough. Then they started losing it again. And then we have this other doji, the one we call the long-legged doji. And the one, what did we say this long-legged doji signifies? Somebody tells me in the chat, what does it signify? That one, that the 2-week, the size of the indecision. Ololade mi omo. Dragon waiting. Ololade is not dragon flying. It's not flying anywhere. You see, when it is like this, the body is the wick on both sides. They are just the same in size. It shows indecision. The market doesn't know whether, we don't even know. It's not telling us whether market will go up or it will come down. So you can see what happened, which shows that anything can happen. And that's what we saw. Can you see? Market just started going down. That's why we keep saying we do not control the market. So when we see all of these patterns, you remember when we put them together now, when, when we put them together, who is showing, Olalade is showing herself love. I like that. You have actually tried to even remember what a dragonfly is. That's a good, I mean, that a dragonfly doji. That's a good trial. But you will soon see the dragonfly right now. You can see it's changed it for us in the Nigerian palace. It changed it. The market started going down. This is why we keep saying dojis are reversal patterns. And as a trader, we must understand it that we do not control the market. The market is not our mate. This is why all these candle and candle patterns are there for us to take a cue, for us to learn, for us to know when to leave the market. When I first started training, oh my God. So if you are in my shoes at that stage now, please, you are not doing anything wrong. The only thing that can happen is after you have now learned, you are still going back to what you should have left. When I first started, I didn't know when to leave the market. Yeah? When they say take 1%, I will take 10%. I just wanted to take everything. This is why it is always very, very key. When I say, let me take you around your accounts, because these are all the things. It's not that I will show you candle patterns, but I'm going to let you into my own mistakes, things that I was not shown, things that I didn't know, things that I didn't know they were not even my mates. I just thought that I could just put a price and then I go on and I make a lot of money, but it doesn't work like that. So when everybody had already taken small, all of you that have taken round, you must have heard me say, just take 1.3, take 1.5, take 1%. As a matter of fact now, the market has taught me a great lesson that if there is less than 1% in RoyalQ, I will take. But the truth is, once you are now able to do your analysis, when you are using the TGS strategy, we'll still look at the TGS strategies because I know that some people are very, very new. They have not really gotten their hand, a good grip on the TGS. We're going to look at that briefly tonight. But the thing is, once you're able to identify these patterns, you will be able to trade. But you may not be able to know the percentage you are supposed to take. And that is a problem. So we need to understand these patterns. And when we now understand these patterns, we'll now be able to put them together. And then we'll do our analysis either with indicators or with taking our lines, the support and resistance lines, and then calculating. We'll get there one step at a time. But while we are posting home to support and resistance, and how to draw your percentages and all of that, and how to get out of floating losses easily, we must be making money. This is why we are doing this. We must even get familiar with all these things so that we don't go there calling them graphs like my friend. They are not graphs, they are patterns. They are candle patterns. They are candles formations. So you can see after dropping and dropping, you still see these gravestones, they are still there. They showed up again, which means that this drop is not even enough. It is still going down. So you may want to just, if you want to enter a trade, you may want to take it when the prices are very, very low, because like I said, what goes down must come up, but you must be patient. Okay? And I'm also going to tell you just a little bit about when you take your trades with the lowest prices, the highest low. I think we've discussed it once. And I don't know if you have been doing it, but I've been doing it and I've been making a lot of money. Okay? As a matter of fact, when I pick my highest low, that's where I make most profits. like seriously, because the prices had fallen so low, it cannot go lower. So when I picked it from there, all it can do is to go up. Although this doesn't stop me from looking at the candle formations, the patterns they are forming, because if it's still saying that it will fall a lot lower, then I will wait until it kukuma goes low. E that is low, fear no fall. How do they say it? So I wait until it's at the highest low. Then I pick the coin and then I wait. Sometimes it pumps out in hours, sometimes in days. I've learned to be patient. I've learned to be very patient. So this is it. When they come together, you can see that they are coming together bit by bit. All the things that we have been talking about. I don't want to use analysis because I know that that doesn't cut it for some people. Once they hear technical analysis, everything turns upside down, but it's just what we are doing. I hope we know that you are doing technical analysis. As we are doing this, we are analyzing, we are looking at the candle patterns, we are looking at putting them together. And that is just, technical analysis is just English, pure English, nothing but English, okay? So now, remember I also said something about bullish. When it is bullish, that means that it is pumping, it's going up. Oh, we are making money. Everything is going good, it's green, okay? Those dojis, they're also called pin bars. I'm trying to put all of these things together so that when you go into any meeting or somebody is talking to you and this person is talking about dojis, talking about pin bars, they are just the same thing. Okay? So they are bullish when they take certain formations. Okay? We have talked about them, and I just want to reiterate again. I want to repeat. I want to drive it home. Okay? When you see a coin, I mean, I want to say a coin. Everything on my head is coin because I'm looking at my trade as I'm trading, honestly speaking. I'm looking at the coin I'm trading because I really need to put an eye on this this gallant, or whatever the name is. Okay, so this is a bullish pen bar. It is a bullish doji. We've talked about it today. It's also a doji. Ololade, this is your dragonfly. This is a dragonfly doji. It's a bullish pin bar. It is bullish because when you see this, you should be happy. It may or it may not have a tiny wick above the body. Then it has small green body and then a large wick below the body and is pointing up. That is a bullish pin bar. It's telling us that there's going to be a bullish reversal. Okay? So when you see this, you should be happy. All right? Now, we want to put them together again. When you see candles like this, you see patterns like this, and they are together, this is a bullish signal. You can see that the green, the green, the green, the green, the green. But when you see the green, 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 always be cautious that what goes up must come down. So this is bearish signal. Bearish is going down. So when it is bullish, when it is a bullish signal, we also call it uptrend, because we are going to see this a lot when we are now drawing our trend lines. This is uptrend. This is bullish signal. It's going up. But when it starts coming down, that's a bullish, a bearish signal. Bearish signal. But when it goes up again, it's bullish signal. What this slide is just telling us, in essence, is that whatever comes down must go up. When it goes up, it must come down again. When it goes down, it must, that's why you can't be at a loss. You may be at a temporary loss, but it's for a short while. That's what we call floating losses. It's not a real loss, but if you go in there to sell, then it will become a real loss. But right now, this is just what this slide is telling us. Patience is key. Can be bullish, can be bearish. Can be bullish. You just know that it can be bearish. It cannot be bullish forever. Okay? Are we having values? Are we getting values? Are we getting values? These two, the two that we are seeing here, these two sets of candles, they are just the same. This one, the buyers are in control. The red one, the sellers are in control. This one, the buyers are in control, although they are losing momentum. This one, the sellers are in control, but they are losing momentum. Okay? Now, when you look at this, pattern, you can also see that it started with the sellers, the bearish, then it goes up, it comes down, and then you see that pattern, and then it changes to this. This is like a dragonfly. It's a good reversal pattern, but you can see that the wick is getting longer. So this means that, hey, the buyers are in control, but they are not strong. This is why you see this indecisive doji here again, the one we call long-legged doji. The indecisive one, it formed there, and then suddenly the market goes down. Then, remember I said the market is actually a struggle, is a war zone between buyers and sellers. They are always looking at, so, who is going to take over? Then the buyers say, yes, we are here, and we are strong. Then the next candle too formed like that. Then red set in. But this red was not strong enough to steal the show. It still goes up. So when you see, sorry, the slides went back by itself. Okay, so when you see this kind of pattern, you should wait and see what follows, because it can decide to be going down. But look at this. The first one formed and it grew high. If it's me trading, I will enter once I see it going up, because I know that this is strong enough. The momentum is high. But if you want to be very careful, if you are not a radical trader, you should wait for the next formation. And you can see it's still indecisive. Wait for the next one. This one now is showing you something, that the buyers are actually gathering momentum and the market is likely to go up. So you can see that, and it continues to go up until here. And then the reversal candle here is not strong enough to stop it, because this is just the long-legged doji. It's still going up. So the buyers are strong. You can see that the large wick below the body, it pushes it up, and this shows that the buyers are strong. If it's the other way around, and the wick is at the top and is pushing it down, it shows you a negative reversal pattern. That is, the sellers are taking over. Ololade, what's going on? Why are you thinking? What is it? Tell us before we move to the next slide. What happened? I saw you putting an emoticon of Okpari.
No. I was just, at times when you see patterns here, I was just wondering what exactly, but with the explanation, I was just thinking to myself, so it can be this easy to understand. That's just what my emoji.
So you're looking at it that, okay, so it's my mindset that was working against me all these days. You see?
Yeah.
Thank you
exactly
for clarifying that it can be as simple as ABC. I said easy peasy squeezy lemon. Very simple. It's just those single candles that we are now putting together and they are forming patterns and we're using the patterns to determine what the price action would be. Just that. But you see, when you go to meetings and people are speaking all these Dogon Turenchi, you can be confused. You'll be looking at it that, hey, what is this? But it's not always like that. So now that we have at least gotten a handle on what forms our price actions, the candles, how they can come together and form something beautiful, we're going to look at some charts and then indicators. And I'll try my possible best to explain them. And then we can see that they are just very easy. Nothing to us at all. There is nobody that cannot do this by himself or herself. Okay, so galaxies. And I've already told us, even before we became members, that when you are trading in crypto, you trade in pairs. That's why you are seeing Galaxy/USDT. This trade, you see, I actually entered it last night. That's what I've been safeguarding. That's what I've been checking as this meeting is going on. Okay. We have now established it that each of all these candle patterns, each of these candlestick rather, each candlestick, because they form, what they form now will be patterns, but individually, they are candlesticks. So each candlesticks represent price movements. Okay. And when you look at the time, this place that my cursor is, you can see 15 minutes. In 15 minutes interval, because that's what I selected with this. And I didn't go to anywhere. I didn't go to Trading View. I'm in our RoyalQ Gongon because I don't want us to get it convoluted. I don't want us to get it muddled up. I don't want us to think that, what's Trading View again? We're going to use that very beautiful app. But let's even look at what we have in RoyalQ. Even in this RoyalQ, you can analyze your points and you can still enter trade with your candle sticks and some indicators. You know, all these things down here. Moving average, that's MA. BOLL, that's Bolinga. Volume shows us what's in the market. Because if you have money and what you want to buy is not in the market, what's the point? You're just going to carry your money and put it there and there won't be anything to purchase. And then MACD, you know, MACD is a form of moving average. And then you have KDJ and we have RSI. You see, the ones I have chosen today, and we're still going to look at Bollinger Bands and KDJ. That's why I want us to even look at this to analyze or to look at and discuss this, our Galaxy USDT. It was yesterday evening when I was looking at this that I thought, let me even put it in this slide for today. As a matter of fact, I put up these slides about 15 minutes to 5 because I've been in and out of meetings all day. So, but I've already taken a snapshot of this and I've had it in my mind and I'm going to put it in the slides. So here it is here. I just want us to look at what we are even seeing and then how we can use it to take a decision, whether we want to pick this coin or we are not going to pick it. Each candlestick, that is each of these things, as we are looking at it here now, remember this is now in a pattern and this is in a coin. We've already taken that coin and this is the chart it is showing us. Okay. And it is in 15 minutes. It can be 1 hour. It can be 4 hours. It can be 1 day. It can be 1 week. As a matter of fact, when you are doing your analysis, you are supposed to do it in a higher time frame And then you can go back to the time frame you want to take the trade, and then you go ahead. Because in higher time frame, there won't be too much of noise. There won't be so much of candles. You'll be able to see clearly, and then you will be able to draw your line properly. Okay? So in this one now, let's even look at it. When we see something like this, we've already clicked on the galaxies in our RoyalQ. I believe everybody knows how to pick trades by now. If you do not, please get back to your upline to quickly show you, because I don't have my RoyalQ on this system, except if you still have some time to look at it and I change to my phone. My RoyalQ is not on my desktop, so I may not be able to share screen to show you that. But it's very easy. You just go to your home page, scroll down, pick on a coin, and it shows you this. And when you get here, you now start seeing all these candlesticks. Okay? So each candlestick, like I said earlier, represents price movements. In this particular case, over a 15-minute interval, because that's what I have selected. And then when you look at the recent red candles, I hope you can all see these last three. These ones, they represent, from what we have been saying, you can see that they represent a decline in price. That means the prices are going down. Whereas this green one shows an increase in price. That's the buyers candle, the green. These are the sellers, and it just, you can see that it's going down. The prices are going down. Okay, so these galaxies, it's not that I was just going to pick it, but I've been in it and it was in floating loss. So I wanted to analyze it to see where I can go in when I want to put some money on it, because I wanted to open some more margin calls so that it can be pushed out on time. But I also needed to know, which price will it get to that when I put my money back into it, it will yield. But when I see this, when I saw this, and then when you look at the Bollinger Bands as well, these are our Bollinger Bands, these three lines up here, these three lines, the yellow, purple, and pink lines. The yellow, purple, this purple, and the pink lines. These are the Bollinger Bands. They are up there. Okay? Bollinger Band is a form of indicator. What is an indicator? Just as the name has told us, it indicates. What does that mean? It tells us you are good to go. Hey, you are not good to go. It tells us like the direction of the trade. What direction is this likely to go? So that's what's the job of that's the job of the indicators. What, like when you are looking at Bollinger Bands now, I'm going to tell you what this one is saying, because this is a practical example that we have chosen now to even see what is Bollinger Band telling us here. Okay, what is KDJ saying? Okay, no, this is not even KDJ. I chose RSI. Okay, now volume, what is volume telling us? Because you also need to know, in the past, before I knew what I was doing, I'm not saying I've already known what I'm doing totally, but at least we are better than we were yesterday. So before I knew what I know today, I won't even bother. I won't look at any RSI. I won't look at any KDJ. Well, when they now came and taught us KDJ and Bollinger, I'll just get there, look at it. They said when the price action is on the lower or near the middle, and then the KDJ is trying to cross, just jump in. Why am I jumping in? I didn't know. But now you need to, this is why we now say analysis, analysis, analysis. What this means is that you are able to look at it and then you can then understand at least a little bit about what you want to do. So when you look at the Bollinger Bands here, that's the indicator. The Bollinger Bands actually is an indicator that measures volatility and potential price reversal points. The upper band, that's the yellow band, that one it represents resistance. Most of the time, if you have been in most of these our Zoom calls, you will have heard that resistance is actually a point that resists further movement of prices. So you will see that when you get to the resistance line, the price action is a bit, it may not be able to get out of there. So you consider resistance line like a roof of your house. You know, the roof, when you jump up, your head will hit the roof. And then the support line, you just look at it as your floor, the ground in your house. Okay, so Bollinger Bands, like I said, it tells us, it indicates the volatility and potential price reversal points. That is, when it gets to this resistant level, it's not going anywhere again other than to come down. Or when it gets to this support level, it's not going anywhere again but to go up. Do you get it now? So the upper band, that's the yellow, it indicates resistance. Okay? While the lower band, that is the pink, shows support. You can see that this, my current price level, is near the middle Bollinger Band. It's not totally on it, but we can even say it's on it. The middle Bollinger Band. It shows that this price is moving within a range rather than trending either strongly up or down. And you can see the doji that formed before that started happening. You can see it there. That's what we have discussed. That's indecision. The long-legged doji. See that it's formed after the green one, and then things started happening. So this is putting what we have learned individually now together on these galaxies to now take action. Okay, so when it is like this, let's ask each other now, one another, is it good for us? Like me, I was trying to look at it that, when should I put my money? I want to put my money in this coin because it's in floating loss. And I'm looking at it that, okay, let me even push in some money and bring it up. So my interest is for it to pump. It's not to go down. Is that not correct? If you understand that, please say yes in the chat box. If you do not understand what I'm saying, say no. Because we need to get this together. I don't care if we don't finish this slide, like I said, but we need to understand what we are after. Okay? Yes. All right. Peace said no. Muti said no. Please unmute yourself and let me understand the part of it that you do not understand. Ololade is like our long-legged doji. She's not sure. She's indecisive. She's neither here nor there. Okay, so you are the long-legged doji for today. Those who said no, it's good to say no when you know that it's no. I think I saw Peace saying no, and somebody else. Can you please unmute yourself and let us know the part that is no?
Okay, I think where I don't understand is from the last two candle, you asked the question that if it's advisable for one to enter the trade here. So I don't understand though, because I know from what you said is here when it's showing doji candle, it means the sellers and the buyers are indecisive. They are not sure whether to buy or not. So I don't know. I don't really understand from the question you asked if we can enter a trade with that last two.
So from the answer you have given, from the answer you have given,
yes,
it shows clearly that you have not been understanding this from a very long time ago, but you probably thought you were understanding it. We did not say that when the dojis are forming, the buyers and the sellers are indecisive, undecided. No. It depends on what is forming that will make us to know whether it is the seller or the buyer. And one type of candle, this one that looks like a cross that my cursor is on, this is the indecisive doji. This long-legged that both the wicks on both sides are equal.
okay.
You see, that is the one that is indecisive. So when you see it appearing, you should be cautious. Be cautious and slow it down because anything can happen. You see, when you have this one, this green one, okay, this green one that is forming, you notice that the buyers are still in control, but they are not so strong. You still know that these are buyers, they are in control, they're not so strong. So you need to wait. Then now, when this next one now formed after it, you can see it's indecision. So you are very wise to have waited. Now, this indecision, you cannot jump into something that's, because what this long-legged is saying all the time is, I do not know, I don't want to say yet whether we want to go up or we want to go down. But in this instance of these galaxies, at the time the snapshot was taken, it decided to go down. Can you see? It decided to go down. But it's not yet, you will still see another of these same galaxies because I took my time since I knew that I was going to use it to explain Bollinger Bands, RSI, showing us directions of trade. Because this is why we call this topic the dynamics in trading. You can use so many things to decide whether you want to trade a coin or you do not want to trade a coin. And if you do not get it straight this time around, it's fine. You may not be able to get it at once, but maybe when you go back and listen again and you look at it again and you ask further questions. But I believe that by the time I finish explaining now, you will get it. So this is Bollinger Bands. I'm now using these Bollinger Bands, these three lines, to explain what is actually happening, because what indicators do is that they give us the direction the trade is going. They let us know whether this trade is going to go up. So we are now combining, oh dear, my internet connection is unstable. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so now we are now trying to use both the candle patterns and indicators to take our decision. I hope this is not too much for us because this is what we should do. We can look at candle patterns and then we'll say, yeah, looking at these candles, looking at the pattern from what I've been taught is going down. This trade is in floating loss. What I want to do is that I want to put more of my money so that I can get out of this floating loss. But it doesn't pay me if the price will still be falling. That's the question I asked actually, that would you advise me to put my money if it is still going down? Do you get it? If it's still going down, now answer me, please. Would you advise me? My coin is in a floating loss. I want to put money into it so that it can push up and then it can sell off and I can be out of floating loss. But now prices are going down. Would you advise me to put money in it? That was the question.
Okay. No.
No, it's not advisable. It's better for it, if we're very certain of what the candles are saying, it's better to wait till it goes down more so that leveraging can be more beneficial.
You mean averaging, dollar cost averaging? Is that what you want to say?
Yeah. Yes.
So I can see yes and I can see no. Love it. Why did you say no? Love it. Please unmute yourself and tell us why you said no. Unmute yourself, love it, and tell us why it is no. Love it. Are you able to unmute yourself, please, and tell us why it is no?
Good evening, everyone. If I got your question correct, you are asking if from the last candle, if it's the perfect time to enter the trade, or is it when you're already on a trade?
So I'm in the trade. This trade is in floating loss. So I want to buy more margin calls. I want to put more money. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much of talking trading balances or jargons here for the sake of those who are very new. So I don't want to go into, I want to buy margin calls. Let me just put it in a very simple way. I want to put more money into this trade. From what you know, should I, with the way this thing is, or should I not?
Oh, no, not now. Since from the candle, it means it's still going down. Right. If it's still going down, then you should just wait for a while. So I agree with the first answer she gave. Wait for a while for it to go down. That way, your entry points will be reduced, and that way you'll be making more money.
Exactly. So we'll be making more money if we allow it to go down more and then enter. But you see, what would occur to most traders would be, I want the coin to pump out. I want it to pump out. If it goes down, it will still go up. Remember, we said that much when we were even trying to look at single candles. So what is the coin being on the price action being on the middle Bollinger Band, what it's telling us is that this one is on a support. I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's not telling us whether it's trending strongly up or down. So that's what this middle is. That's what this middle Bollinger Band is also telling us. Okay? We are still going to look at this RSI. RSI means Relative Strength Index, actually. Okay? I will explain that as well, and I'll tell you what it is. Don't beat yourself hard if you do not understand all of these things at once. We are recording this meeting. You can go back to it, and then on the platform, ask questions. So now that this one is one of two things, actually, and it depends on what you want to achieve. Okay? So if I have money, much money, and I want to put into this trade, I want to get it out of floating loss, and at the same time, I want to make more money. Just like the two last speakers have said, all I will do is that I will wait to see exactly what direction this trade is going. And we're going to look at the next pattern, and then you will understand it better. So as it is now, because the Bollinger Band, being on the Bollinger Band, the middle Bollinger Band, is showing me indecision. confirming what this long-legged doji has said here. So what I will do is I won't enter now. I will wait for a while. I'll be watching it because it can go up. So if my money is not so much, and I don't care whether I make more money in the dip, the money I've put on this coin is high, and I just want it to pump out, I may just put the money, even if it's going up. I'll put the money, it pumps out fast. But it pays me as a sports trader for it to go down more. Just like the last two speakers have said, this price action, let it go down. Me, I'm never afraid of prices falling. What I don't like is when they are going up, I'm nowhere to be found. I don't like that at all. So I monitor my trades. I put stop loss. You know, we're going to look at that some other time. I put stop loss so that I'm not sleeping and it has pumped out and pumped in and pumped out and okay, it's sleeping. When I wake up and I see the trend, hey, before I learned, it used to get to me because then you learned halfway. You knew when a candle is pumping, when a coin is pumping, when the price action is going up, but you do not know what to do. It's very painful. This is why I'm taking it upon myself for us to look at all of these things now. I never would like what has happened to me, especially negatively, to happen to somebody else. And this is why I keep doing what I'm doing on the platform. And it seems as if one is pushing the team so hard. We need to push one another hard enough because we are not here to joke. Like, seriously, I don't understand how I can put so much in a business and then I will sit down there joking. So if I have more money, I'll let it fall. So if it's on this last line, this first Bollinger, this support line, okay? If it is there, then I can now enter and it will be buying. And because I will be selling in sub-sales, I'll be making money. As it goes up, I'll be making money. As it goes up, I'll be making money. Until finally, it pumps to the percentage I want and I take my profits. Sometimes you will have taken your profits too early. There's no harm in going back. But please don't be caught hold up in the markets. Know the time to get out of the markets so that all will be well. Because sometimes when we are holding, we will be hold as in we hold in as in HOLE. We are hold in, that is we have dug the floor and we entered. Then we'll be in floating losses for quite a while. But the truth is it will still come out. No matter how deep, it will come out. It may take time, but it will come out. So patience is needed. But we can guard against all of these things with the knowledge we now have. This is why we are doing what we are doing now. Okay? Like I said, this current price is near the middle Bollinger Band. Or we can even conveniently say on the, so it's showing within a range that is not trending strongly up or down. So the best thing is for us to wait. Now, before we move to the next slide, let's look at this RSI, that is the Relative Strength Index. When you see this one below the candlestick chart, that's the RSI. And the one that's in blocks, this one, my cursor is on, that's the volume. Sometimes when you open a trade and you are seeing the volume as tiny like this, please don't pick it because it's not going to pump. When something wants to pump, there must be a volume. If there is no volume inside the pump, what are you pumping? So you look at the volume also when you are trying to pick a coin, especially a coin that you are not yet in. If you are in the coin and it's showing low volume, don't put your money in it. Don't put more money in it. Let the volume come up. When the volume is high, it will pump, and then you will get out of the floating loss earlier than expected. So that's the volume. That's the volume indicator. That's why we say indicators actually shows us the way, where the direction of the trade. Now let's look at this RSI. What's this relative index saying here? If you can see my screen, it's quite dull, but the RSI values are there. They work in values. And when you see these RSI values, they are displayed as RSI 6, 38 at 30, RSI 6, yes, at 38.86. All the values are there. Okay? Then RSI, the values of RSI are normally in 6, 12, and 24. When you get to your trading view, you may just see it as 6. But in RoyalQ, it's actually 6, 12, and 24. And all the values are telling us something. When you look at RSI and is near 30, this suggests an oversold condition. You know, when it's low, this is an oversold. It will be an oversold condition. That is, the coin is even tired. It has been oversold. It's down, down, down there. And when it is up there, then it is overbought. Okay? So when you see your RSI and it's near 30, just as it is here, 38.86, it suggests an oversold condition. This potentially indicates a buying opportunity. The way it is now, we can buy because it's low in value. And that is what the RSI is also telling us here. But for me, I will wait for it to fall more because I want to make more money. Okay? So, but you see, the RSI is just near 30 at RSI 6, that is 38.86. And it suggests an oversold condition, potentially indicating a buying opportunity for us that we can buy. But when it is near 70, then it is overbought. This is a sell signal. I hope we are learning. It is overbought. That means it is up there at the resistance, near resistance or resistance level. It is overbought. So it's better for us to just sell it because where it is coming back to is down. And you don't want to sell when the price has fallen. But in this case, when we look at it now, the RSI is confirming what the Bollinger Band is saying because all our RSI values are mid-ranges because RSI 6 is saying 38.86, RSI 12 is saying 51.20, and RSI 24 is saying 53.7, what is this? 53.73. So this indicates that there is no extreme overbought or oversold conditions. So it still confirms what we were saying. That it depends on what you want. You can decide to buy here if you don't mind it, that even if it trends up, will go up. If it trends down, then, but I want to buy low and sell high. I want to buy lowest, actually, not low. If you want to buy low, you can buy here. But me, I want to see whether it will still fall more. Okay? So let's quickly look at all this that I have been saying. What does it even mean? What does it mean? For me, when I want to interpret something like this, what it means to me is that this is a sideways, what we call consolidating markets. Because when you look at what we have expressed using the Bollinger Bands and the RSI indicators, it shows that they are just middle level. They are neither here nor there, not upward, not downward. So this is what we call consolidation. You will have even heard people saying they are consolidating. The candles are consolidating. This is just what it means. It's going sideways. It's not going up, it's not going down. And that's what the English consolidation actually means, Abby. Those of us who went to school. I mean, those of you who went to school, for me, I passed by the school. I just passed by the school. Somebody is asking how we identify pressure. Ask your question after, then we can go back to where we have talked about pressure. Okay, Mutsi? So now I was saying, in a nutshell, what this display means is this particular display, this setup is sideways, or we can say is a consolidating market, because the prices, even as we see it within the Bollinger bands and the RSI levels, they are very moderate. No clear upward or downward trend. So the market might continue ranging until a breakout above or below the bands. So it's either it goes up, like we said earlier, or it goes down. It's still consolidating. It doesn't know what it wants to do. So when you see this kind of signal in a trading, when you see this kind of chart, it is telling you to wait. This is a signal to wait for more decisive indicators before entering a position, before taking any position at all, before saying I want to buy or I don't want to buy, at least at this level. That's what we should do. We should wait. But if you want to take it to a higher level, then you can use the range. You can use the range. This is now getting it to measurements, using our trend lines, using our range, price range, and all of that. Okay, but we have not reached that side. Let's just stay with this as it is. We are looking at indicators and candles, how we can trade with them. So looking at this, we should wait. So when you wait, you are not going to wait forever. So when you look at it and the price now gets to the lower or the lowest Bollinger, then you look at it that, okay, this is now at the support level. I can pick this trade. And when it keeps going and it gets to the resistant level, then you should know that you need to get out of the trade. If you really, really want to have anything, I've said it and I want to repeat it. If you want to have a very good trading signal, please make sure you are looking at the volume. Look at the volume, because like I said, when you want to trade, you want the coin to pump, you want the price to go up. If there is no volume, there's nothing to pump. I hope we are getting that. And then when you should also put an eye on RSI values. When these RSI values move towards the end, the highest points, then you know that this is bullish. Either way, it's either bearish or bullish. Either way. Okay? So I think we've done justice to this slide. I hope we get what it is that we said. Please let me know that you did. I hope nobody is indecisive here. Did you get all that we have explained? Put yes in the chat box. While we move to what's this same galaxies? Because see, when you look at the time, oh, the time got caught up there. Okay, so this was done actually before 12 midnight. Then I looked at it again. You can see 12:03. That's 12:03. Can you see? Have you seen what we have been saying? If you can see what I'm seeing there, please let me know in the chat box. Can you see? You know that those three candles, we said they were not decisive. We don't know. We don't know where they are going. See what happened. Can you see it picked up? Thank you. It didn't go down. So look at it. So this is why we say it's good for us to, because if it had been that I was waiting for it to go down so that I can put more money. Somebody may be waiting for it to push up so that they can just put the money and then quickly it gets out. But I'm looking at it that I want this thing to buy more so that I can have more of the percentage when it picks it up. And so you see, this is what I have been explaining. Okay, this is what I have been explaining. So you see this analysis now. After a while, if you also look at the volume, you can see that the volume of this most recent bar, you can see it. You can see it that the volume jumped up. You can see that the volume jumped up. So this is really tiny now. The volume is really tiny now, but this is looking like 8.2 million, unlike what it was earlier on. And when you look at the cumulative 24-hour volume also, it jumped up. So in general, you can see that these green volume bars indicates the person that was asking for pressure. When you see all these volume bars, you can see that the green is coming at the end. This shows that the volume bars, the buying activities, the buyers, they actually took over from the sellers. So the green volume bars here indicate that buying activity was stronger. That is, it closed higher than it opened. Remember, the prices close higher when you are buying. It closes on top. But when you are selling, it opens on top and closes down. So you can see the volume. The red volume bars indicate that selling activity was strong also, and it opened. That's what it just means, all these red bars. And it's good for us to always analyze volume along with our price movement so that this helps us to understand the trend. High volume often suggests stronger price momentum. When you have high volume, I said it and I'm repeating it, when you have high volume, because if there's no volume, there's no pumping. And when the pumping goes on, then we say there's price momentum. That's what everybody is looking for. So for me now, going into galaxies, you see, what can happen here is that I won't put money. I won't put any money here. I will just wait for it to keep pumping, because at the end of the day, it's going to pump out in profits without me putting more money. Because if I put more money, I'm buying at a higher price. I can put it depending on the price I entered, you know? So this is it. It goes that way. I want us to, because there was another coin I analyzed. I hope I put the chart here. Yeah, Pepe. I also analyzed Pepe last night. This was after I looked at Galaxy and I knew that I wasn't going to put my money to buy more margin calls, to put more money into it. So I decided to look at Pepe, and this is what it is. Okay, this is what it is. I ended up setting stop loss for this, and I just went to bed. So we can look at this and also look at the potential if we are not too tired. Are we tired or we should go on? If you are tired, put T in the chat box. If you are tired, just put T in the chat box, and then we can leave the analysis of Pepe and we can move on. Are you tired? All right, nobody is saying they are tired. Okay, so let's go on. No, speak for yourself. Oh. Sololade said T, that she's tired. Who else is tired? If we have 3 tired people, we will stop. But if it's only one person that is tired, we'll go on. We will advise the person that is tired to go and take glucose and come back and join us. Okay, let's quickly look at what is happening in this Pepe. You can see that the last few candlesticks show green candles. This shows some buying momentum after red. You see? It shows some buying momentum after a period of bearish candles. When you look at the formation critically. But you can also see that there is no strong or any reversal, any strong reversal that can tell us that, yes, this is good, go ahead. We have already looked at what the reversal candles should be. There is no strong definitive bullish reversal pattern here. We have not seen the dragonfly. As a matter of fact, you can also call this one now, the one that has formed here, this an hammer, but it's not properly formed. It's not fully formed. You can see that hammer and dragon, they are like twins. Okay, the dragonfly and hammer. They are both bullish reversal candles, reversal dojis. When we see this now as it is, and there is a good candle after it, like a full candle after it, a strong, big bodied candle after it, then we can be sure that this is a reliable signal that is going to go up. I hope we understand what I'm saying, because this formation, this candle, is supposed to be a bullish reversal candle, but we need to have something after it. Don't just jump into any market. Wait. Let us see that. Although I couldn't wait, I was tired and I needed to sleep. Otherwise, I would have seen exactly what now formed after. But what would happen is, if there is a big candle that will now kind of serve as an engulfing, okay, so I don't want to use all these terms. But what engulfing means actually is that it has taken in the last one. So, I mean, we should understand that as well. But if there is a big bodied candle now that follows, yes, we'll know that this trend is an upward trend and is a very reliable one. So these are what these candles can do. And when we look at the Bollinger Bands as well, the price, this price is near the middle again. It's near the middle again. And so we can't really say categorically that this will go on to form anything. It's already moving towards the middle, rather. It's moving towards the middle band. This could actually signify a potential upward trend, but I would rather wait for that big-bodied candle to form before I can take it hook, line, and sinker. Okay, that is going up. I hope we understand that. And when we also look at the volume. Look at the volume. You can see that it's not even significant. Can you see? The recent volume, look at the recent volume. The recent volume bars, they are not significant. Like the most recent is not even higher than the previous one. When you look at the last two, you know, this indicates that there isn't a surge in buying in this coin. A strong upward trend in any coin is accompanied, I want to repeat it and I want us to take it in. Always look for volume. When you are going to have a pump, when you will know that this one is going up, when you know that I'm going to make money, look at the volume. Because a strong upward trend is always accompanied by increased volume. But look at this, the volume is just tiny, 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 tiny. Okay? They are very, very, all these last ones, there's no pump. It's not shooting up. So I would rather wait and see what can do. I hope we are learning. Okay? So if I want to conclude on this chart, I jotted down that this just shows that this chart, it shows some potentials for an upward movement, but the indicators are not strongly bullish. Both the Bollinger, the volume, I hope we also know that volume is an indicator. It shows us the direction, so it's an indicator. And even the RSI. The RSI too, when you look at the RSI levels, I forgot to show you that the RSI values are very, they are just around 46 to 49, which is also neutral. It's neither in the overbought nor in the oversold. So this also suggests that there is no strong momentum in either direction. Although when you look at the 46 to 49 RSI, it appears to be slightly going up, slightly climbing. This could indicate a potential build-up in buying interest, but for me, it's not strong enough. So this is why I just left it and I went to sleep. And when you look at the volume too, I always pay so much attention to volume because to me, I keep saying it, what's going to pump if the volume is not high? The volume has to be high for us to have a pump. I mean, I love pumping coins because that's where you can make a lot of money. That's where you can make $300 from a 160 trading capital. It's possible, especially when you are trading coins in Mexi and Bybit. You know, Binance is very conservative. I don't understand. So in conclusion, I put down here that at this very moment, this chart, this paper chart, shows some potential for an upward movement, but the indicators are not strongly bullish. Okay? If we observe more candles breaking above recent highs, that is, when we look at that Bollinger Band and is coming up above the middle Bollinger Band, and then we also notice increasing RSI, then we can decide that this is a developing upward trend. However, we should wait for it to be clearer when we see things like this. We have to wait for confirmation. That's what Prof is always calling, wait for the confirmation candle. Wait for the confirmation candle. Confirmation candle after this one will be a big-bodied candle. Then you can be sure that this is an upward trend. So we should wait for clearer confirmation, or at the worst, I left it here and I started to set up the stop loss. But at the point, I was sleepy, so I left it. But what we can do also, apart from leaving it, is to set up a stop loss. We'll talk about that next time. If we must enter now, we can set up a stop loss, which is also a crucial part of managing risk in trading. Okay, well, I can even drop the step-by-step of determining your stop loss level in the group. Okay, now for those who are just coming in, I'm sure somebody will probably have told you that you should do the TGS strategy. So I want us to quickly look at TGS strategy. TGS strategy uses just these two indicators, the Bollinger Bands, and that's the Bollinger Band with that first arrow, and the KDJ. This is KDJ. So what it just tells you is that when you see any coin that has come down and is taking off on this lower Bollinger, from what I have told you earlier on, you will have known now that when a coin is on this first line of Bollinger Band, it just shows you that it has reached the support. This is the support line. And the uppermost one is the resistance. The resistance, like the roof of your house. This support is like the floor that you stand on. Have you ever seen somebody entering the ground? No. Have you ever seen somebody hitting the head? You can even hit your head on the roof. Is that it breaks? And then you put your head in. But this is resistance. Then, so this supports and this is just what every of all those analyses, the ones we are using lines to take, this everything about it, the resistance and support, the support and resistance. So when it gets to this resistant line, I know we were just told when it is near this first line, and then KDJ is crossing, just take the trade. So what it means is that this thing has fallen to this level. This is the resistance. It's not going anywhere again. Pick the trade, it will go up. Then when the KDJ is looking up, as if it's raising his head up, as if it's a snake that wants to bite, then you know that KDJ is ready, Bollinger Band is ready, and then you can move in and take a profit of just 1 or 1.3 or 1.5. Don't go and start taking 3 because you don't know the basis of this trend. You don't know how far it can go. You have not measured anything. You have not measured the take profits. Okay? This is just something to keep you trading, right? So this is what the TGS is all about. And in TGS, okay, your KDJ, the yellow line represents the K, the pink represents the D, and while the purple line represents the J. So when the J line, that is the purple line here, crosses the K and the D, it indicates there might be a pump, especially if a new green candle has been formed. I hope you got that last line. Remember that green candle is what we were also waiting for as a confirmation. And this is what the TGS is also saying. More so, if a new green candle, that is the latest candle, is green and it has been formed, then you can jump in when the KDJ crosses, that is when the J crosses the K and the D lines. Yeah. Did we get that anyway? Has anybody heard about the top gainer strategy, the TGS? If you've heard about TGS, give me a 1 in the chat box. If you've heard about the top gainer strategy, please give a 1 in the chat box. It's only Muti that has heard about top gainer strategy in this Zoom call. Hey, we all need Lucozade. Okay, 2 persons have heard about. Sister Lighton is saying yes. But before Uncle, you follow. Olalade said half.
I'm also laughing hard here.
Half. I said you need Lucozade. Olalade, maybe we should even mix your Lucozade with malts. Okay, I can understand. Don't worry. You didn't book your appointment for yesterday as you promised, so you should have gotten all of this clearer if you had booked the appointments and we had met. Ololade actually has not started trading yet, so this is why you are seeing all these funny answers from her. I trust her that when she picks her trade now, She will understand what we are saying. So the top gainers strategy is a strategy, very easy strategy that we normally give to those who are coming in newly to start trading so that they are not just idle. So we just tell them, look at it here. When the price action, the candle is on the lowest line of the Bollinger line or is moving towards the middle, you can take the trade in as much as the KDJ is also performing. That is the J of the KDJ crosses the K and the D. So Olalade, I hope your half has become one now. All right. Thank God for everything. I hope your half has become one. Yes, thank God. Yes, thank God. Now, we can entertain your questions because we've come to the end of the training. So for those who do not know me, you can meet your mentor here because what we are just doing is mentoring. It is not so much about training, although it is training one way, but it's more of mentoring because I say what you need is totally in you. Everything you need is in you. So what I'm just here to do, that's why I call it mentoring, because what I'm here to do is to give you guidance, is to point you to directions of building what is in you to be a better version of yourself. Just as I am also trying to be a better version of myself. So it's actually a mentoring session because that's what we are doing. All right. So if you have questions, we've come to the end of the training or mentoring or whatever. If you have questions, let's have them. Any question, it's time now. Thank you for being here. And if we don't have any question, we can as well just call it a day. Muti's hand is raised up. Can you please unmute yourself and talk to us?
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking your time to explain this. I think I'm getting a clearer picture because I'm new to and I've not actually done much. I've not done anything. This is something that, please, ma, you make the recording available in the group. That's number one question, so that I can rewatch again and soak it in. Then when you were talking about the indicators, but I think when you now explain about the KDJ, because I've watched the TGS video, I think I now understand because I was confused about the KDJ before. But I think when you now put up that last slide, I think I have a better picture about it. But when you spoke about volume, I didn't really get it. I don't understand the volume and the RSI. If we are going to use the TGS, should we forget about the RSI and the volume and just stick to the Bollinger and the KDJ? That's my question, ma'am.
Absolutely. The answer is in the question. Absolutely. That's why when I wanted to talk about TGS, I didn't put RSI there and I didn't put volume. Because I want the TGS strategy to just be a straightforward thing that you will take. But the ones I explained earlier, and I put the RSI, I put the volume, I put the Bollinger Band, when we're trying to look at the galaxies and the Pepe. These are things that give you better picture. Remember, the indicators show you the direction of the trade. So it's like something is telling you, and you can see the way we close that the TGS, the top gainer strategy explanation. We said, so when the J line crosses the K and D lines, it indicates there might be a pump. Did you see that? There might be a pump. This shows that there might not be a pump. And then it goes on to say, especially if a new green candle has been formed. So if a new green candle has not been formed, it might not pump. But when you are using, that's why I kept emphasizing the volume. So when you now start trading, but you see, since you are new, so that you are not idle, it's good for you to start with the KDJ. And if you guys will cooperate and we have more meetings, because for me, whatever is placed in my hand, I want to do it well. Because that's what the book I believed in teaches. And when you come into my group, I see you as being in my hands and I want you to do well. But it looks like this group, you guys can frustrate person. Come for meeting. Look at how many of us are in this meeting right now. It's very, very kind of not too encouraging. But for me, I've made up my mind that if it's only one person that showed up, we'll have the training. I keep doing my own best at the time I have, with the time that I have. Because these are things we should be talking about often. Now, if you have started with TGS, nothing stops you from now moving further to now look at what's even RSI, what's volume indicator. Let me combine and use with the Bollinger and the candles. Then you get better picture of what you are doing. Remember, when you have volume there, you will see that it's pumping. And then you know the kind of percentage you want to take. When you see RSI there, you know whether it's an overbought or oversold region. So you know the action to take. But you have to start from somewhere. So please start from TGS. The TGS is very simple. You just pick your trade. But if you are that person that wants to grow fast, then try and grow fast and go from the level of TGS, because that's why we are talking about dynamics of trading. It doesn't stay in one place. Every day, new things are coming up. In fact, one of the coaches, Julius Kabanda, whose teaching I love so much, I've been following him since 2021, said he too is a Kenya. He said he's going to formulate his own indicator, and he will. It was the one that I shared the results on the platform that he made $1,190 from one trade. And I know that that was a real trade because I was there. I was in a meeting where he was picking that particular coin. I was there. And I took notice of it. So that was why I was just like, wow, $1,190 made from one trade. And it's possible. It depends on what you know. This is why we keep saying, learn so that you can earn. It's very possible. I knew what he did that day, but I don't have, my muscle has not reached that. He was very radical, extremely radical. Risk is the second name. Anyway, he has gained there, so it's okay. So that's what it is. When you want to use the KDJ, you don't need to use the RSI and volume, but when you want to do the TGS rather, you can use both the Bollinger and the the KDJ and the Bollinger, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, ma. Please, another question. I will meet my upline again so that I will buy some. So now from those doji now, if I want to go in and buy, we have to really study those dojis and the indicators really well to go into buy.
Yes, you will need to look at the candles. It's not only the doji, all candles. Remember, doji is just a form of candle that tells you about reversal, either downtrend or uptrend.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
You were also asking about what was your first question again?
I said that if I actually want to go into buying now, I have to
No.
study.
We've answered that. We've answered that now. But
Which
while I
one?
was teaching, you said something about.
Volume. No, I was asking you about the volumes.
Okay, so that has been answered as well, right?
You've explained the volume.
Volume is another indicator that you can use, and it shows you the direction also, whether it's going to pump or it's going to dump. Either it's pumping or it's dumping. There is an uptrend or a downtrend. What goes up must come down. What comes down must surely go up. On this note, I think we should call it a day. Thank you very much for being here. I also hope you got value. If you got value, put V in the chat box and then we can go. Value, value, value. If you got value, then we can go. We can call it a day. All right. So thank you very much for being here. We will stop the sharing now. Somebody's hand is still up. Is this an old hand or a new hand, Mutsi? I believe that's an old hand.
It's an old hand, ma. So sorry, ma. I've raised it down.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you for being here, everyone. Have a lovely Saturday evening. Don't forget to go to church tomorrow. Good night. Take care. Keep making money. That keeps us going. Good night.
Thank you, ma.